Turkey, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, and he has just announced his next remarkable adventure, which he is calling his greatest challenge yet. In December, he plans to lead a team of 6 explorers on a journey to conquer the last great polar challenge, crossing the Antarctic in winter. At 68 years old, he and his team will aim to walk nearly 4,000 kilometers in 6 months in almost complete darkness. With temperatures as low as -90 degrees Celsius, it's seen as the coldest journey on Earth. Once the explorers get going, there won't be any help from search and rescue teams because it's going to be just too cold and too dark for any emergency aircraft to reach them. Why are you doing this?
Well, like everything, a lot of reasons. We will raise over $10 million to prevent and treat world blindness. We will have the biggest ever Department of Education interactive educational system, which will reach over 300,000 schools in Africa and India and Commonwealth countries. The science that we are doing, we're taking a caboose on skis bristling with scientific instruments, which include for NASA and the European Space Agency, who are very interested in being able to record coal samples in winter across 2,000 miles of this frozen continent, which the science people down there do not do. They have scientific bases, they work in summer,
right.
They are there in winter, but traversing in winter has never been done.
So how are you preparing for something like this? It's never been done. You know, you've done so much, you've learned so much from your previous experiences, but what is different about preparing for this?
Well, number one, you do not get a permit from your government. If you're British, the British government won't give you a permit unless you tick an awful lot of boxes, so that you cannot have, for instance, fuel leaks. That's one of the things. You have to be able to have a doctor who can take your eye out if you get battery acid in the eye, kidney stones, appendix, all that has to be done on the dining room table, which you turn into a surgery table. You've got 6 people living in a tiny area together for a total of 14 months, so you have to prepare with great care.
What are you most concerned about, like facing so many I mean, they're polar bears, that's only one danger.
There are no polar bears, there's only penguins down there.
Oh, okay.
But you have a situation where you're worried about what will happen to the welding on the steel. We've been in cold chambers down to -55, which is the coldest we can reach. But what happens between -55 and -70, we don't really know. So we're a bit apprehensive about the effect of the extreme cold on moving parts of the machines.
And what about the effect of that kind of extreme cold on a human being, or on an individual?
Lung tissue, yeah, but we've got special breathing equipment so that we're breathing from inside our clothing rather than outside our clothing. So we've got like Everest climbing masks.
Okay.
And instead of the mask going to an oxygen bottle, it's going inside our clothing. And that is how the people on skis, who will be ahead with the crevasse detection radar, so that the driver of the lead vehicle, which weighs 20 tons, doesn't go into a dirty great crevasse, because the image will come from the skiers up front, who are much lighter.
You've talked to us a little bit about the physical preparations that you've been doing and the practical ones. What about the mental approach that you need to take to something like this?
Well, you need to know that you want to get to the other side before the equinox, because after the equinox, winter has ended.
Right.
So to do it within the equinoxes is 6 months, and you need to make sure you do the right number of miles every day to mathematically get there.